Okay, we're going to give homework chapter 8-1 a try here. So this is question 1. Silver Company makes a product that is very popular as a Mother's Day gift. Thus, peak sales occur in May of each year, as shown in the company's sales budget for the second quarter given below. They give me budgeted sales for April, May, June, and then the total. From past experience, the company has learned that 30% of a month's sale are collected in the month of the sale. So that's going to be an important number. I'm going to note that down right here. Okay, another 60% are collected in the month following the sale. Okay, so 60% the month following, and the remaining 10% are collected in the second month following the sale. Okay, and bad debts are negligible and can be ignored. February sales totaled $37,000. So I'm going to note that down because from February's $37,000, they collected already in February 30%. And then in March, they already collected 60%. But in April, there's still going to be 10% for us to collect. So I'm going to note down the total here so I can reference it later. Okay, and then March sales are 400,000. So I'm also going to note that down because in March, they collected 30%. And then in April, they're going to collect 60%. And then in May, they're going to collect 10%. I'm going to put that down here so that we have that to reference to fill in my cute chart over here. Okay, and then from this budgeted sales, we have April is 440,000, and then May is 640,000, and then June is 220,000. Okay. So let's start doing some calculations. They want to prepare a schedule of expected cash collections from the sales by month and in total for the second quarter. So required 1. So remember we said in February sales, we're just looking at what's collected in April. So they collected February, March, they collected 30%. No, yes. February, no, February, sorry, month of the sale. February, they collected 30%. March, they collected 60%. So all that we have left to collect is this 10% in April, which is where we're going to start. So I'm going to reference February sales. I'm going to multiply that by the percent that is collected the second month following, right? Because February, March, April, that's the second month following. Okay. And that right there, that means we have collected all of February sales, right? Because we collected 30% in February, 60% in March, and the last 10% in April. So that's now a zero balance. This is going to come in handy for when they want the total accounts receivable at June 30th. That's why I'm making this cute chart here. Okay. So we don't collect any more in May or June from February sales because they have completely been collected. Now, in April, from March sales, right? So in March, we collected 30% of March sales. And so in April, we're going to collect 60%. So I'm going to reference March sales, and I'm going to multiply that by the month following the 60%. Now I still have some to collect from March sales in May, right? March, April, May, the second month following. So I am going to reference March sales times the second month following, 10% equals that. Okay, so we just finished collecting all of March sales. So there's nothing left in accounts receivable from March sales. Okay, April sales. Okay, we're looking at what are we collecting in April. So this is April sales. So this is the month of the sale. Here's my April sales number times 30%, which is the month of the sale. And then I'm just going to look forward in May from April sales. I'm going to collect the month following, which is 60%. And then in June from April sales, I'm going to collect 10% for the second month following. Okay, so again, I collected all of April sales. So there's nothing left in accounts receivable from April sales, right? I collected 30%, 60%, 10%, that's 100%. Okay, May sales. So April, we're leaving that blank because May sales haven't happened yet. So May, we're going to equals May sales times the month of, which is 30%. And then in June, May sales times the month following. And now we don't do anything, or we are only creating this for April, May, and June. And that 10% from May sales will be collected in July. So that is still in accounts receivable. So May sales still has 10% in accounts receivable. You see where I got that? Because we collected 30%, collected 60%. There's still 10% left on the books in accounts receivable. Okay, June sales. Well, we can't collect in April because June didn't happen. We don't collect anything in May because June hasn't happened yet. So June sales collected in June will be June sales times the month of, right? Because we're in June, we're collecting June, right? June sales, we're collecting in June. Okay, so that means there's several ways I can figure this one out. And I think the easiest way to figure out what is left is I'm going to take June sales and I'm going to subtract what we expect to collect in June. And so that gives me the answer to required 2 right there. So this is completely filled out, even though some areas are left blank. That's because there's nothing collected in those spots. Yeah, and so the total accounts receivable is just what's left to collect from May and June. All right, so that was question 1. Oh, I forgot to zero these out. Okay. I'm just gonna real quick delete these numbers so that you guys can see where I'm going with this, because that will just be easier. Although I'm gonna leave these here. So this is question 2 of homework 8-1. All right. They want us to work with Down Under Products Limited of Australia They have budgeted sales of its popular boomerang for the next 4 months as follows. Unit sales, April, May, June, and July. Those numbers. So I have moved those numbers down here so I can reference them. The company is now in the process of preparing a production budget for the second quarter. Past experience has shown that the end of month inventories must equal 10% of the following month's unit sales. The inventory at the end of March was 8,000 units. Okay, so the first thing we know that they gave us the budgeted unit sales for each one, right? So April, and that's this information here. They gave me 80,000 is the budgeted unit sales. May, 90,000. June, 120,000. And that's as far as they want us to go is June. So we can sum those numbers up for this row. And in this assignment, be careful not to just sum everything up in the quarter line because that's not how this works in this one. So pay close attention. But for this line, we do sum those across. Okay. So now, let's see. So the desired units of ending finished goods, they told me, must equal 10% of the following month's unit sales. So for April, I'm going to take the following month, which is May, and multiply that by the 10%. Okay, you see how I got that? 10% of the following month. Okay, so that works right there. And if I anchor this cell with those dollar signs, then I can drag it across to May, but I can't drag it across to June because July's number is not right here. So I'm going to have to manually enter this one in. So equals July's 95,000, right, from this information here, times the 10%. Okay. Now, in the quarter line, right, this is our quarter end column. The ending finished goods is not the addition of all of these numbers. The ending finished goods is going to equal the ending finished goods of the last month in the quarter. So that is going to be the same as June's ending finished goods. Okay, so now total, I think the book actually fills this in for you, but I am going to add those together so that I have, and this one I can drag across because I just want to add all of those numbers in each column. Okay, less units of beginning finished goods. Where do we find April's beginning finished goods? Well, if you'll think about it this way, the beginning goods of 1 month is equal to the ending goods of the month previous. So the inventory at the end of March was 8,000 units in my problem. So if it's the ending inventory of March, that means it's going to be the beginning inventory of April. So this equals the 8,000 units that they told me up here. Okay, now that same logic works because the ending finished goods of May is going to be equal to the wait, sorry. Let me think that through again. I was explaining that wrong. So I want the beginning units of May. There we go. The beginning units of May is going to be equal to the ending of April. And same goes for June. The beginning finished goods inventory of June is the same as the ending finished goods inventory in May. Okay, now here we have to be careful again because this wants the beginning finished goods of the quarter. So that is going to be equal to the beginning finished goods of the first month in the quarter. So be really careful on those that you're not just adding across because it's ending and beginning of the quarter. Sometimes in some problems, this is a year column, so then it would be January and December if it was a year, but this is a quarter. So it's April and June. Okay. And then that's subtracted. So it's this minus this. I think drag that across. That's not quite right. What happened? Oh, I referenced the wrong cell somewhere. Units of beginning. Ending. Oh. I referenced the wrong one right there. You guys should have caught me. So this is the same as the beginning finished goods, not ending. Sorry, I did that wrong. So it's the beginning finished goods right there. Okay, so let's go over that again. So this is the beginning finished goods inventory for April. So right there, the 8,000. Ignore what I did before. This is right. And then the ending is the ending for June. Okay, I feel much better about that. Okay, and that is everything that is required. Uh, hope that helps.